Album Dead Silence came out just a week, well, less
Just a
than
couple
week
days
ago.
ago, yeah.
Yeah. So, how do you feel about it being out there?
Great. We're excited that it's finally out. We had it done for almost 2 months, so it's nice that it's finished and out there.
Okay. How did you guys spend the day, the release day? Were you just doing interviews or?
Today, just doing interviews.
Yeah, release day we were in Calgary, I think.
Calgary, yeah.
Yeah, just doing press all day and a little intimate show with some contest winners.
Are you guys the type that would actually go out in the store and buy it on release day, or?
We did. We all went to the store in Calgary and bought it on release day. It's a good luck charm to do that, I think.
Yeah.
Did you get any reaction from the salesperson or anything?
Yeah, we went to HMV and
They had no clue who we were.
I don't. Yeah.
They knew that you might be in Billy Talent, but why would you be here? But they had no clue.
It's weird. Yeah, they didn't really say anything. There was just like, oh, it's a guy buying a Billy Talent CD.
Back in 2006, you were a co-producer for Billy Talent 2, and this time around you took more control over everything. You were full-on producer. How hard is that? Like, does it create some sort of tension between you and the band because you're basically telling them what to do, or is it easier because they trust what you're saying and?
No tension at all.
Yeah, I think it was a lot easier, to be honest, because we've been in a band for 19 years, so we all know each other very well, and there's a big trust between all of us. So they thought it was they were all about it, and they wanted me to do this. So it was hard organizing the stuff, but that's what our management came in to help for. I'm not used to that end of stuff, but getting stuff done and recorded and stuff was pretty smooth sailing, and it was fun.
Were any of the songs from Dead Silence carryovers from Billy Talent 3, or did you just start with Clean Slate?
Don't Count on the Wicked is a song that's actually carryover from Billy Talent 2, which we just couldn't figure out vocals for it.
Cure for the Enemy.
Oh, jeez, Cure for the Enemy. Let's start over. What did I say?
You said Don't Count on the Wicked.
Why did I say that?
Don't Count on the Wicked was a new song.
Yeah. Sorry, Cure for the Enemy was a song carryover from Billy Talent 2.
Okay.
And vocals didn't get figured out for Billy Talent 2 or Billy Talent 3. And then when this came up, it was like the 11th hour, and right before the mix, the vocals were done. And it's actually one of the best songs on the record.
Okay. One of the distinctive things about Billy Talent is, like, you have Ben who does the main vocals, but then you also do this sort of interplay with his vocals. How do you guys decide who does what and when?
Well, there's usually like a main melody. Like I'll write a main vocal melody on on piano or guitar or whatever, and that automatically, whatever feels like it's the main melody, the lead vocalist should obviously sing. So Ben kind of will sing that melody, and then after we track his vocals, sometimes I'll sit down and like work on backgrounds and see what fits in there. Some parts where lyrics need to be accented or brought out a little bit more, I'll do like a backup vocal, and that kind of works that way.
With the songs that made it to the album, were they always, like, the finished product, was it always the same, or did some of them start off as something completely different? Like maybe it started off as a
that happens quite a bit actually. Like when you first write a song, it could go through like several changes, or it could not change at all. So it depends on the song. Don't Count on the Wicked definitely went through a huge change. Music stayed the same, but the chorus we had for it, that we demoed for it, totally got changed. The Viking Death March pretty much stayed the same since we first wrote it. And then other songs like Stand Up and Run went through a lot of different changes and kind of came back around full circle to the original arrangement again. So every song's different, and it works like that, I guess.
And this time around, did you experiment with any sort of new instruments or new equipment that you've never done before?
John's. Well, we had on the first track, the intro track to Viking Death March, Lonely Road to Absolution, we had Jeffrey Beecher. He's the double bass player from Toronto Symphony Orchestra. John had met him playing poker one night, ironically, and I was thinking that we needed something else in this track, and we didn't want the bass to come in until the second track, which is Viking Death March, and the drums as well. So I thought that something like a cello or double bass would work really nice in the background, and so he came in and played on that one track, and then piano as well. Like we added piano for "Swallowed Up by the Ocean," and it's some songs that really require a different instrument to get the mood and the feeling out, right?
When fans tell you that your music has changed their lives, like how does that make you guys feel? I mean, it's pretty heavy, right?
That's the best feeling in the world. It's like that's what we do this for. It's, that's kind of like that's a motivation to write songs for me. It's kind of something that it's an art form that can help other people. It's an art form that people can guide them through a rough time in their life, and that's what it's done for all of us. Like when we were growing up, certain bands and certain songs have helped us through really tough situations.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, having music help you through something difficult is something that we've all been through. So to have it come back to us is a really cool feeling.
And speaking of life-changing events, you had open heart surgery earlier this year. So how has your outlook on just life in general changed since then?
My outlook on life in general has always been pretty optimistic from previous crappy things I've been through, but this one was pretty heavy. And yeah, I'm just really enjoying myself now because there's not enough time to waste being or worrying about little things. So, but it's hard also too. I can understand why people get stuck in those ruts. But yeah, I'm just trying to have as much fun as possible.
And during your last tour, you started bringing in fans as correspondents for your shows. How did you guys decide to do that? Like, what made you think about bringing in the fans to give their stories?
It's just a cool thing to do, like to let someone come to the show and who's a fan to kind of do a review. It's really good because it makes it pretty certain that we're not going to get a bad review because they're fans.
Yeah, it's a cool thing for them to do, and it's a cool thing for the band. It was an idea that Jessica, who works for us, she came up with this idea, and so she organizes that, and it's so cool when we meet like the people that win the opportunity to do this because they're super excited about it. And if there's budding journalists out there, it's a good start for them to cover a show.
Are you going to continue that with the upcoming dates?
I don't know. Yeah, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we will.
And jumping back to Dead Silence, the artwork, it was done by Ken Taylor. How did that come to be?
Ken's an Australian artist who does a lot of band posters, tour posters, in like multi-layered silkscreen kind of prints. We came across his work through our manager, and we had looked at 14 different artists, and his work just really jumped out. And it really, as soon as I saw his work, it really, to me, was the equal to what we kind of did on record with our music. It's heavily detailed, but simplistic at the same time. And we thought it would complement the music really well, and I think it does. So we're really excited and happy about the end product.
Okay. And you also did the art direction for Billy Talent 1 and 2?
Yeah, the earlier records I did, yeah. It was something I enjoyed doing because I went to art school and enjoyed that. But this time it was great to work with someone who's, all the way around the world on the other side of the ocean, and just literally give him the music and see what he comes up with, because we just trusted him right away because the amount of his work that he's done and the quality of his work.
Okay. Was this the original piece that he created, or did you ask him to change a couple of things, or?
He originally sent us a sketch, and it was an underwater sketch, and we thought it was a great idea, and then we just went from there. So it was like a rough sketch, and then when we all signed off on it, it took him quite some time to do the full paneling of it.
He was pretty bang on, right, with all of his first ideas.
Right from the get-go, he was pretty bang on, yeah.
Are you going to be using him for any other things, like maybe merch or?
Yeah, hopefully. I'd like to use him again for other stuff that we do. I think he's super talented.
And apparently the world's going to end this year, towards the end of the year, right? So what's left on your bucket list of things to do?
Get this question a lot, eh?
Yeah, the bucket list question It's popular in 2012, the bucket list question. I think I've never jumped out of an airplane or parachuted, so I would love to do that. I think I would.
No way.
I would. I think I want to. What a strange feeling that must be.
Yeah, I guess so. I want to just take our band to different countries, different continents, and we're gonna try to go to South America this year, which is a really great, like that's on the bucket list for me because I've seen footage of punk rock shows there, and they're all completely crazy. So hopefully we can do that this year.
And if the world doesn't end, what's next for you guys?
Then we'll tour some more because the world wouldn't have ended and we'll still be alive. So we'll probably well that's a quest, is to go to new places we haven't been to before. So South America is definitely on top of our list.